Hi, welcome. My name is Marlene. Today I am going to play with the Glaminatrix Bonfire palette. This is my first time playing with the Glaminatrix palette, and I gotta say, I am in love already. I love this color story, and I particularly love this burgundy reddish kind of color. But speaking of color, I wanted to talk briefly, very briefly, about the Pantone color of the year and how I guess I never really gave much authority to Pantone and the color of the year selection. I didn't even really know. Like, to me, Pantone has always been that, like, color swatch, like, little stack of different colors that people use. And I know they have been picking a color every year, and apparently they started this back in 1999. And ever since then, they've been selecting a color, and that color influences things or is influenced by things such as the entertainment industry, to fashion, travel destinations, social economic conditions. It can also be influenced from new technologies, materials, textures, and social media platforms, upcoming sport events, blah 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 blah. Anyways, yes, a bunch of gibberish, and like I know it influences the trends for the upcoming year. And last year's was like a mocha type color, and then we had like mocha inspired makeup. But I just wanted to touch on it real quickly because I saw in one Instagram post and I lingered on it a little too long, and I saw there was like a little bit of outrage over the color being white. If you didn't know, the Pantone color of the year is Cloud Dancer for 2026. It is a lofty white whose aerated presence acts as a whisper of calm in a noisy world. They say that Cloud Dancer serves as a symbol of calming influence in a society rediscovering the value of quiet reflection. A billowy white imbued with serenity, Pantone 11 4201 Cloud Dancer encourages true relaxation and focus, allowing the mind to wander and creativity to breathe, making room for innovation. But I guess where people were getting some sort of like outrage or how this color was getting a bit of backlash. Yes, the fact that it's white, but then also people were saying that it had other connotations to it. I don't know. I just, I was just thinking to myself, like, you're totally valid in having these feelings, and if Pantone has some kind of ulterior motive, and I'm just like, not as in tune as everyone else to think these things. But I don't know. I just think that like if you don't agree with it, just don't give these types of things energy. Find influence in other things. If we don't give companies like Pantone or whatever the attention, the energy, the authority that they have, these so-called authority they have over the influence of how the year is going to be shaped through fashion and through home decor and all that other fun stuff. If we don't give it the energy and the attention, it'll just go away and it'll be irrelevant or whatever. If there is really like a sinister thing that I'm just like overlooking. But I was like, who's even Pantone? Really? Pantone, according to their website, Pantone provides a universal language of color that enables color critical decisions through every stage of the workflow for brands and manufacturers. So, yeah, that's pretty much what I thought they were. They were just kind of like a way to kind of like standardize or just to keep things consistent across different manufacturing processes and all that. That's what I thought they were. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're giving a company too much power to decide how to decide a color that influences the rest of the year for us. But I just want to talk about things that inspire me, things that influence me, things that get me excited to create, things that inspire how I see the world and how I feel. My colors and my inspiration are whatever happens to vibe with me at that moment. Those colors lately have been like pinks and purples and reds. I've been kind of living in that color area right now. Sometimes I go for blues. Prior to this year, I've mostly been like wearing black and being very kind of plain, wanting to not be seen. And I still want to be like colorful and vibrant, but I still don't want the attention and I don't want to be seen. I know like you're on YouTube, but you don't want the attention. I like social media and I like I like platforms like YouTube and Instagram because it gives us ways to connect with different perspectives, different point of views. Different people from different walks of life get to share their stories. Some things you might have never even thought of until somebody shares their perspective or shares a little bit of their culture and stuff. That's what I enjoy about it. But yeah, but that's why I'm here. And then also, I enjoy just connecting with people that I might not have the opportunity to connect with on a daily basis, because it's really hard to connect with people face to face, especially now in this day and age. It's even kind of difficult to trust online, but at least you get a little bit more of an interaction. But anyways, back to where I get inspiration from. I don't get my inspiration from a company that I thought was just a color swatch palette, a color registrar, if you will. I don't let them have any authority in my life or influence. I also don't really much care about what's going on like red carpets or like with celebrities and stuff. I don't keep up with fashion trends. I just kind of follow things based off of what I'm vibing with. But yeah, I don't listen to trends really, and I'm okay with not being trendy. I just go with whatever I like at the moment, whatever makes me happy, whatever inspires me, and those things are, I really get a lot of inspiration from plants, from flowers. I love how they are as much living as we are. They go through their phases, they bloom, they wilt, they go through things just like we do when we have our rough patches. They have their own individual life cycles, and I just love seeing how these living beings transform. I love the colors, the patterns, all the variety there is. I love the scents that they give off. Being in a forest on a nice cloudy day, just the aroma, especially after it had just rained. I love that feeling, and that feeling inspires just a freshness and awakening. You want to talk about encouraging true relaxation and focus and allowing the mind to wander and creativity to breathe and making room for innovation. That's what a forest does for me. I don't need Pantone's Cloud Dancer to inspire that for me. That's what I have the outdoors and nature for. Other things that inspire me are handmade crafts, artisanal crafts, something that someone makes by hand that they put love into, they put a little bit of themselves into, just like as jewelry, handmade like purses, handmade clothing, paintings. Those sorts of things inspire me, and they inspire me to create things of my own. Of course, makeup, oh my goodness. Looking at all the beautiful palettes, all of that inspires me by mood. Sometimes I'll pick up a palette, I'm not really feeling that color story, so I'll pick up a different palette, and sometimes it'll be one particular color. Today it's this red burgundy color that I'm playing with that I'm really in love with. Maybe tomorrow it'll be a bright blue or like a pale blue. Maybe the exact color I want isn't really there and I can make my own color. It's super fun. I take a lot of inspiration from makeup. Sometimes it could just even be a lipstick, and that lipstick can determine the look for the day. I also get really inspired by drag queens. Drag queens, I feel, have the most bright, vibrant, out there looks, but they can also look very sophisticated and very chic, if you will. I was watching Trixie Mattel and Katya Zamo on I Like to Watch. They were reviewing the new Frankenstein movie, and Trixie looked like I never watched this cartoon, but I've heard of it. Gem and the Holograms, I think it is. She looked like a character from that cartoon with her 80s hair and her 80s outfit, and then you got Katya over here looking like freaking Cruella de Vil. I love how they create these personas for themselves. They could literally be whoever they want, like Trixie Mattel, a living freaking Barbie. And of course they take inspiration from pop culture, and but they don't take inspiration from all of the dark, the drab, the sad, the depressing. Maybe some do, but I'm just like kind of generalizing here. They take inspiration from the iconic, the bold, the color. Drag queens inspire me. And their personalities are just as vibrant and colorful, so I also get inspiration from there. There is a girl here on YouTube, her name is Sylvie the Queen. She dresses in like full on like Sanrio, like pink inspired. You know, she really likes like My Melody, and there's like a lot of like Hello Kitty type inspired stuff. Her room, she decorates it however she wants. She does like arts and crafts and stuff. She also has like this kind of like post-apocalyptic cyber like futuristic type style that she does sometimes. Those types of people inspire me to want to, like I've mentioned here before, that I want to think of my body as like an avatar. I want to be able to create looks based on like how I feel, and I want to live vibrantly, and I want to express myself as fully as I want to, especially because you know we only get one life. We got to make the most of it. And that's where I get my inspiration. I get my inspiration from people that are bold and aren't afraid to express their individuality. Following trends is if it's for you and if it makes you happy, that's awesome. It's just not particularly for me. So I'm not gonna let a color authority company decide the trends or the mood for me for the year. What I'm going to let decide the trends and the moods are the things that I have mentioned, and whatever else I encounter along the year that inspires me. I want to be able to change up my moods, my colors, my vibes by the day. I want to feel as unique a person as I am. And that's why I don't really pay much attention to these things, and I don't think you should either. I don't think you should constrict yourself into whatever society says it's being pushed. And if you don't agree with said color that the company chose, make your own color. But don't feel like you have to limit yourself to one vibe or to one thing. You can be a colorful unicorn rainbow princess one day, and then the next day you can be dark glam gothy. Like, just be free to do whatever you want and whatever makes you happy, as long as you're not hurting anyone, as long as you stay kind and compassionate. That's all that matters. But yeah, that's just a quick little thing I wanted to talk about. Like I said, I just kind of saw that there were like a lot of negative things that were surrounding the color of the year. One, for it being just such a boring color, and white doesn't have to be boring. White can be fun. And if, like I said, like I'm maybe a little tone deaf, and I am just not seeing what other people see, in the color being like a hateful or like a political stance. I'm also not going to negate what you're feeling and what you're seeing. And if there is a little bit of a negative connotation to the color, then just don't give the company the energy. Don't give companies authority over how you choose to live, decorate your homes, how you choose to dress. It is your life after all, so you're in control of it. But anyways, just rambling now. I hope you take care, and I hope you choose whatever colors you want for the day. Don't feel like you have to choose one. Don't feel like you have to choose one single theme for the year or for the hour. You can change it up. Just have fun, enjoy life, be as colorful or as not colorful as you want to. But I hope you take care, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.